Welcome to As the Chakras Spin, a podcast that connects life's experiences as they relate to the 7 major chakras physically, emotionally, mentally, financially, and spiritually. I am your host, Tashi K.D. Cooper.
Peace and light, everyone. We are back. My name is Tashi K. D. Cooper, and I am the vibrational midwife, aka Reiki Woman. I know that sounded horrible to my guest because she's a singer. But it's just me. It's just, I'm really off key with it. It's just who I am, y'all. But we are back with another episode of As the Chakras Spin. And this, y'all, this is our 24th episode. I'm going to give myself some snaps up in the air for that. So episode 24, we are continuing with the throat chakra, okay? So for those that are new to energy and chakras, there will be a link in the description that will give you a general overview of what energy and chakras are. So the throat chakra is located at the throat. There's an anterior and a posterior component. The color is blue, hence my blue and white shirt. Okay. The color is blue. And body parts associated would be ear, nose, and throat, okay? Neck and shoulders. So those people that have, let's say, issues like a stiff neck or this tightness in the shoulders, a lot of that can be due to an imbalance in the throat chakra. If you have a sore throat, you lose your voice, imbalance in the throat chakra, okay? So those are body parts. Qualities associated with the throat chakra are speaking up for yourself, speaking the truth, being a good communicator, self-expression lives here, verbally through dialogue, but also self-expression in how you wear your clothes, self-expression in the type of work you do. It doesn't mean that you have to be an artist per se. It's the way you express yourself as an administrative assistant. Like, it really is just self-expression, okay? I said, so some people, and we all know some folks that do not always tell the truth. Right? They kind of lie, right? So that lives here. But not only speaking the truth, but speaking your truth lives here as well. Being a good listener lives here. And also intuitiveness lives here, because if it lives here and it lives in the third eye, here it's the ability to listen with your inner ear. Not necessarily the ones that we are used to listening with. All right. So those are some qualities. Those are some body parts. The list is not exhaustive. Okay. Like I always say. All right, y'all. I know you're wondering who the beauty is on screen with me. Yeah. All right, well, she is returning. She is a returning guest, okay? She is a Grammy-nominated singer-songwriter with a classical education decorated with opera, jazz, and musical theater. She has served in the health and wellness industry for over 15 years as a certified holistic health practitioner, certified nutritionist, certified colon hydrotherapist, and 20 plus years as a yoga instructor. We're gonna get some snaps in the air, okay? My guest is an avid researcher of all things that support remembering the infinite beings we all are. She is a performer and practitioner who shifts the paradigm of what it means to be an artist, an alchemist, and a healer. I want y'all to put your hands together for my dear friend Rhian Ayanna Watson.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Yes.
much, Rashi. I love you. I love, you know,
I love you too.
I love our talks. I love, I'm so grateful that we are in each other's lives. And my pleasure. I'm so excited to do this today.
Yes, I am too. I am too. Thank you again for being a guest for the second time on As the Chakras Spin. I'm
Yes.
so excited for this show. Okay. Yeah, this is so interesting to me because I guess the more audience that I think about Rhian, it's like we can really do a show on all chakras with Rhian. I love that because she was with us with the solar plexus chakra in season 1. But yeah, so yeah. And you know what, you guys, in season 1, I don't think I told y'all how we met. Okay. And though I don't remember what came first, audience, I feel me and Rhian were destined at some point to become friends because I would see her in a professional setting, one of the places I worked at a leisure activity setting. And at some point we realized we knew some of the same people. So socially as well. So we were destined, girl.
Definitely.
Right?
Definitely. It was gonna happen.
Yeah, it was gonna happen, right? So first, and I don't know if this was first, but we're gonna talk about it professionally. I would see her at a place called Sal Anthony's Movement Salon. That was one of my first jobs as a massage therapist, which tells me that we have been knowing each other for 25 plus years. Wow. I love that.
Wow.
I know. I love that. I love
Amazing.
that. Yeah, and so at Sal Anthony's, I would see Rhian at the front desk checking folks in for classes and I guess to come and get a massage. And I would sometimes check out with her as I was leaving for the day. And what I loved about Sal Anthony's when I first started working there, they would pay you up front the same day. Like it wasn't like you had to wait for your money. So I used to love that about Sal Anthony's. But yeah, and so then I would see her at a leisure activity setting, Geneva Dance and Drum Center, y'all.
Yes.
Again, at the front desk, checking people in for classes. And then one time, I looked and saw her in my favorite style of African dance, Sabar. And I was like, okay, that's a sister. That's a sister. Right? And so I really don't know what came first, Geneva or Sal Anthony's. I really don't remember. Do you?
Yeah. I honestly don't because they were kind of happening at the same time. I would say possibly it might have been Geneva only because I think I connected with Sal Anthony after I had started working at Geneva. So I feel like when I first came back to New York, I connected with Geneva first, and I was like, I just need to dance. I need to dance every day while I'm figuring out what I'm going to do. So I started there first, and then I started doing more certifications, and then I found Sal Anthony's, and so I think Geneva might have been first. Because
I know at some point I was like you, I know you. Right, and you guys, initially I would see her at the front desk at Sal Anthony's, but then later I would see her hosting her own class, teaching Pilates and yoga at Sal Anthony. So yeah, although we're going to focus on a different career today, she is just a dynamic human being, y'all. Okay. And what was funny, one day or one evening after a dance class, I'm linking up with friends. We're all going out and she's with us. I was like, oh my God. And then after that, shortly after that, some kind of way, I either saw you perform or...
Yeah.
And you guys, instant fan.
Thank you.
Instant fan. I mean, yes, I am super appreciative. Just like you said earlier, I'm appreciative to the Most High that we have stayed in touch after all these years. Yeah. And let me tell you, like, our friendship is soulful. We don't talk all the time. No, we don't talk all the time. There were years we didn't speak because I left New York in 2004. Yeah, and there were some years that we didn't speak at all, but whenever we come together, it's just an easy pickup, like it's soulful, y'all. It's soulful. So yes, you guys, audience, you are in the company of true authenticity. She wears and has worn so many cool hats in this lifetime as it pertains to healing and compelling artistry and creativity. Okay. So today we will primarily focus on Rhian's art as a singer and songwriter and how it's been navigating through the music industry. Qualities related to the throat chakra that we will touch upon are self-empowerment, self-expression, authenticity, communication, listening skills, and if time permits, the health of the ears, nose, and throat briefly. If time permits, y'all. Okay. Rhian! So from the very first time I heard your music, like I said, I was immediately hooked, right? And as long as we've been friends, I never thought to ask you about the origins of your singing career. Your bio states that you were classically trained and decorated with opera, jazz, and musical theater.
Yes.
First, how old were you when you started singing?
Wow. So I am aware of music, of singing being important for me as early as, I would say, like age 3, 4. Yeah. And I say that because my memories of that time were of me singing with my best friend, Sean, at the babysitters.
Okay.
And so we sang everything. If it was a commercial, it was a song we heard on the radio.
Yeah.
And I remember, for me, what was important was the harmony. So I would always, choose to harmonize with whatever he was doing.
Wait, at 3 and 4 years old, you knew how to harmonize?
At 3 and 4, I was very aware of that. As a matter of fact, around the same time, I would pick. So my grandmother played the piano a bit, but for her, music was so important. She always regretted not going further with it. So we had a piano, and she had sheet music, and she always encouraged me early on to play. So 3 and 4, I literally would just go to the piano and pick, pick by ear of what I heard. But what I would also do is, if people came over, I would take some of her sheet music and I would put it up in front of me, and then I would pick out stuff. And then people would feel like, oh my God, could she read that? And then she's like, don't bother with her, she can't read that.
Wait a minute, wait. But wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to embarrass myself, so I'm going to try to do this without singing.
Girl,
so, when you would go to the piano and hit the note, you know how people hit the note and then go, oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Would you would you do that?
Maybe not so much that, but
Okay.
but I would hear things like I'd hear things on television or on the radio, and then I would go over and I would try to figure out how to find those notes on the piano.
Okay.
So I would go and play, and eventually I just got more comfortable with it. So it would sound like I was picking a tune that,
Yes.
and then I would put up the sheet music to try to make it look like it was like, really official.
I love this story.
Yeah.
I love this story. Okay, so 2.
Yes.
Do you come from a family who are or were musically inclined? You mentioned your grandmother, but what about your parents or even cousins, aunts, uncles?
Yeah. So, on my dad's side, my dad, when he was doing undergrad and even like high school to undergrad, he definitely did a lot of like local theater, dancing, singing. At one point,
Really?
he wanted to act professionally. But I think for him, it was like, look, he grew up poor, so he was like, I'm not trying to struggle. So it's going to have to be finance. We going to grad school. But
wow.
Yeah.
But
but
did he sing?
Sing, dance, acted, yeah. And then also we have a cousin on my dad's side of the family, Ed Watson, who is well known, pretty famous in the Caribbean for soca, and he had like a big like brass band.
Yeah.
And his career was kind of over the 60s to the 90s, but like I'd say like the peak of his career was like late 70s to the 80s.
Yeah.
Very, very well known. So honored to know that he's part of the family.
Yeah. And that's your dad's cousin?
That's my dad's cousin.
Wow.
And then on my mom's side of the family, my mom always encouraged my mom to play the piano. My mom has a great voice, but she never looked at doing that professionally. But my mom did play growing up. And then also another cousin, this is like second cousin, but Nia Long for acting.
Really?
Yeah. So, we got the arts in the family,
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah,
so when did you train in opera, jazz, and musical theater? When did that happen?
Okay, so I'll give you a quick story, just like in terms of like how early I started, and I kind of was ahead of myself in a way, because when I did start playing the piano with a teacher, I would say I was about 6 when I officially started piano lessons.
Okay.
And I remember going in, and like each week he would give me something to work on, and I was extremely impatient. And so we did that for like 2 weeks, and then the next time I went home, I just learned the entire book. And then we went back and played. Just like he was like, okay, you did that one. I'll be like, no, I did the others too. And then
wow.
And so it was like, okay, we got to move you ahead with this, because you clearly are ready to move forward. So I feel like music was just intuitive for me. Like it was a thing that I feel like I was destined to participate in, because I just naturally wanted to absorb. I just want to naturally absorb more and more theory. And then in terms of, like I was mentioning with the harmonies have always been a big thing for me. And I love like harmonizing with other people, Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And opera?
And
I never knew that.
Yeah. So, I went to school I was pre-med for my first degree. And then while I was doing that, I ended up singing with 2 friends, and that turned into competing at a lot of competitions. And then we ended up like singing at the taping of like an MTV show. And then we got offered a recording contract. And for my friends, it was like, oh, we were doing this for fun. We're not trying to do this professionally. And I was like, oh, I want to keep going with this, So I decided once I completed my degree, I'm like, I'm going back to school for music. I'm going to go further with it. And so that's how opera came into the picture.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So I studied jazz and opera and sang with a jazz group, and yeah, it was hard work because opera was very different. Classical was very different.
Sure.
Singing, I was classically trained with piano, but singing is a very different beast.
Okay.
And so I was grateful for the challenge, and I feel like it just opened me up to so many other things because I had to sing in other languages, Italian, French, German.
Yeah.
And so it was great. It was great.
Ooh. Do you speak those languages?
Barely.
Okay.
I didn't stick with it, but I can understand things and say little things here and there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And before we go on, your best friend Sean, does he sing now?
No, he did go into the music industry more on the A&R side.
Okay.
Yeah, but he was not performing.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So tell me this, is there a particular song or songs
Yeah.
and person or persons that motivated you in a way that you said, I want to do what they're doing?
Yeah.
Or was singing something you just felt that you needed to pursue via an innate knowing? Like, I know you said at some point you liked that you were competing and you liked it and you wanted to go on. And if it's no, it's no. But was there someone that was already doing it that you really was like, I like that, but I want to do it my way type of thing?
Yes. So I would say my inspirations are, and there's so many of them, but growing up, my parents playing certain artists' music, Stevie Wonder, Earth, Wind and Fire, Natalie Cole, Anita Baker, Sarah Vaughan. Like, it was everything, right? I was inspired by jazz. I was inspired by R&B. I was inspired by soca music, calypso. So
I wanted to ask you that.
Yeah, definitely. And I would say writing, I was inspired by, I would say Stevie Wonder was a major influence for me. I was so inspired by his writing, and I always felt like I want to do my variation of that.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
What about Ella? I am just intrigued by her.
Ella Fitzgerald. I mean, I tell you, Ella, Sarah Vaughan, yes, those women. I mean, Carmen McRae. It's like certain, and their ease. I think really what inspires me with a lot of the jazz artists who are really the icons. I consider them the icons. No disrespect to anyone, who's come since then, but these women really are the ones that kind of laid the foundation and had everyone else that came after them feel like I want to do my variation of that.
Yes.
The ease with which they sang, performed was probably one of the biggest things that stood out for me. That it never looked like there was effort. It just looked like this is just natural. This is me speaking.
Yes.
Me speaking. And I think that is what really makes it so beautiful, because what was coming out was so powerful, and yet it looked like there was barely any effort. There's soul there, there's passion, there's all of that, but it's not effort. It didn't feel like it was forced or like they're trying, I'm going to do these runs. No, it was just like, this is how it's coming out.
Yeah, and it looked like they were having fun. It looked like they were playing inside of the rhythm.
Yes.
I don't even know if I'm saying that
Oh,
right.
you said it completely correctly.
Okay.
Yes, because it's a dance, right? It's a dance, and it's like a weaving in and out of the music. You know, so yeah, it really is like just kind of like being playful and allowing yourself to kind of just move with in and out of whatever is being created. And then that's like adding to the tapestry, you know?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What would you say is your genre of music?
So
And would you say you chose it or it chose you?
I'd say it chose me. And I do feel also like, so I would consider my genre R&B
Okay.
with a, however, R&B with a jazz foundation, you know?
Okay.
So it's not jazz, but it's R&B influenced by jazz,
Okay. Okay.
you know, and then kind of seasoned with the Caribbean culture, you know?
Yeah.
That's kind of how I see it. And I feel like it's still evolving. It's probably always going to evolve.
Yeah.
Because I was influenced by so much of like just what I heard around me. So it didn't
Yeah.
even necessarily have to be, you know, music on the radio or an album, but you know, all of it. Like
Yeah.
we're influenced by so much, you know, like I think there's so many different styles that we hear. We may not be actively listening to, but we hear it, and it kind of like seeps into the subconscious. And so I feel like it shows itself in being sprinkled in other work. And I would say like that's what my music is. It's
Okay.
jazz foundation, R&B, seasoned with the Caribbean culture, but also, you know, a little of everything. A little of everything. I feel like the classical pops up at little points, probably in the harmonies.
Okay.
So yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And you know, I didn't mean to brush past Stevie Wonder
Yeah.
influencing you as a writer. Can you tell us like what about his writing
Yeah.
that I guess you were drawn to?
Yeah. I would say his awareness of so many experiences in the human experience and bringing
Okay.
light to those things.
Okay.
The fact that he really was kind of like including quantum physics and all of these like the spirituality in this music. I don't think I was actively aware of it, you know, growing up, but
Right.
you know, it's like once you become an adult, you're like, wow, like he was really saying some stuff, you know. So I do think that his writing encompassed so much. It could be romantic love, but it could also be just speaking about the experience, the human experience, the experience of people, the melanated people's experience, like, you know what I mean?
Family
Like,
life.
family life.
What
Yes.
my mama told me.
Thank you. Thank you. And I mean,
Yes,
yes, a lot
I
of
get
people
it.
did that, right? Like Bill Withers, also another influence for me. But yeah, like being able to speak about so many parts of the human experience through music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so I met you in the early 2000s, and you clearly were already in the music scene performing at various venues. As you mentioned earlier, you were competing and then also performing, right? So, how has it been navigating the scene in New York or in general, as I know you travel outside of New York to work and record sometimes?
Yeah. It's been interesting. I would say when I started performing, say at like clubs and things, the different venues like that, was probably in Colorado when I went back to school for vocal performance and theater.
Okay.
And I kind of like that I started there because
Yes.
New York is a very interesting, very interesting experience, right?
Yeah.
And so when I came back to New York, I decided, okay, I allowed dance to lead the way. So yes, I am
Okay.
meeting people, I am, networking, but my daily practice was dance. And the beauty of that was that it allowed me to be in my body and to move energy
Yeah.
consistently, like steadily,
Okay.
so that there was no room for blockages or, you know, getting stuck. It allowed fear, happiness, all of it to keep moving through.
Yeah.
And I'll say the interesting thing about that is that I'll give you a quick story that while I was in Colorado, I remember listening to one of D'Angelo's albums,
Okay.
and it was Spanish Joint. And I remember hearing
Okay.
the horns on Spanish Joint, and I was like, man, who is playing this? Like, I was just so mesmerized by the horns.
Yeah.
And so I check and I find out it's Roy Hargrove, and I'm like, I'm gonna work with this person. I said, God, I don't know how you gonna work it out. I'm working with him.
Wow.
And I kept, going along, studying, da da da. Fast forward, get to come to New York, and I'm dancing every day. And I make friends with a fellow dancer, and we're kind of hanging out after, and I'm talking about my at that point I had a demo, and talking about my music, played some music for her, and she's like, I need you to meet somebody. I'm going to introduce you to a friend. And so she introduced me to this friend via phone, and then he and I meet up after, and we stay connected. And then a few months later, again, I'm still dancing regularly. He calls me and say, "Hey, I'm working on this album. I'm producing 2 tracks on this album. Do you want to sing?" And I was like, first of all, obviously I want to sing. Yeah.
Right. Right.
It's a yes, period.
Yeah.
Like,
Thank you for the formality, but yeah.
exactly. Yeah. And by the way, who is it? And he says, Roy Hargrove. And
Wow.
so I knew at the time, like, I really was attributing how things were happening so magically for me
Yes.
by the amount of movement I was doing, and not just movement, but movement I was connected to spiritually.
Okay.
And so it really just allowed things to flow
Yes.
in my field
Yes.
with ease. I also attributed to how I was eating. At the time, I was kind of waitressing at a raw food vegan restaurant, and that was my diet,
Yeah.
And so all of that I felt really contributed to how things were happening magically. So I say all that to say, I never found myself like pounding the pavement trying to like hustle hard.
Yeah.
I have
Okay.
a lot of friends who did that, and everybody's path is different,
Sure.
Some people enjoy doing that.
Yeah.
It never came up as something I needed to do for me. And
Okay.
so I wanted all my interactions to feel magical, to feel serendipitous,
Yes.
and so that's how I moved through. And so I wasn't jumping at every opportunity. I really was looking at, does this feel like it's in alignment with who I am? And if something about it didn't feel right, like, it's okay to step away and know
Yeah.
that you're not losing anything,
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, did you ever have representation, or were you kind of like a freelance artist?
Yeah. So I have had representation at different points. There was a while in the beginning that I had representation, management. However, in terms of label, it was always like them kind of distributing. It was more through distribution, never
Okay.
signing with anyone. And yeah.
Can you explain that? What do you mean, like more distribution?
Right. So you can sign with a label, and then they have control over, how the music you choose for your projects, your
Okay.
execution, your
Yes.
look, all of that, right?
Uh-huh.
Or you can create a project and then get distribution. So basically, this label is paying for getting your music distributed.
Okay.
Right. And so
Thank you.
that was the route. Sure. That was the route that I chose. And I'm grateful for it because, now looking back and even just looking at all that's coming out about the music industry now, about everything, right? There's so much is
Yeah.
coming to light. So much truth is coming to light. I am so grateful that I was really listening and feeling what felt like the right thing for me. At times I felt like, oh, it'd be nice to have a deal. But I've watched friends of mine,
Yeah.
beautiful voices, had experiences where they actually got to be seen, heard on, a huge level. Like their music is all over the world. And then,
Sure.
for other artists who were also getting a lot of visibility. And then when they go to record their project, they have an interaction with someone, and whether it is they told the person no, the person wanted to do something inappropriate and they said no, and then they get blacklisted. And now they can never use that project. They get shelved. So that
Wow.
project that she wrote goes nowhere. Never gets to be heard.
Wow.
All because what? She didn't play along with
Didn't
someone.
do.
So you think about how many artists that happens to. I would say the majority. How many do we actually hear about? How many actually
Right.
get pushed for us to see and hear?
Right.
I would say like the majority of artists out there don't get seen and heard like that through the labels.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm grateful that I chose the route that I chose, and that it has always given me more freedom. Yeah, I may not get some of the large platforms that other people get, but nothing is free. And even
Yeah.
when you get those platforms, you will pay in some way, and it's just a matter of if you're willing to pay that price. So,
Wow. Yes.
yeah.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, so to me, Rhian, you're very expressive, confident, down to earth, and have a pretty strong sense of self,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
How has your authenticity complemented other artists and bands, and how has it clashed with them?
So, I would say in terms of clashing, thankfully, I have not had too many experiences where I felt that there was some sort of conflict or tension
Yeah, good.
with people that I work with, because again, I'm very careful in the projects that I choose. And now that doesn't mean that you can't have certain experiences even with somebody that you love working with.
Sure.
But I think because of that strong sense of self and confidence in self and confidence in speaking up is so important. However, speaking from kindness, speaking from love
Yes.
is even more important. And I don't think you can speak from love unless you have a sense of self,
Yes.
right?
Okay, so that's kind of like how you were able to create harmony with others.
Yes. 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 Through that sense of self, because I knew I don't need to prove anything right now. I know who I
Yeah.
am. And I'm working with this person because we are on the same wavelength. So there's
Sure.
nothing to prove here. And I don't need so I can come to this project and hear what it needs. What does this project need? What would actually complement? What would just help amplify whatever is happening right now.
Yeah.
Right? That's where I come from when working with people. And so I think that has afforded me the ability to keep harmony in my projects.
Okay.
You know? Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Especially since we're talking about the throat chakra and having a sense of self, that self-empowerment.
Yes.
And then right below the throat chakra is the heart chakra, and you're moving from a space of love and self-love. I love that.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's not, and you're going in to truly collaborate with others, not to compete with them.
Exactly. Exactly. I always believe there's no competition.
Yeah.
We're in our own lanes, and everyone is here to contribute something to this collective tapestry, right? So,
can you say that again for the people in the back? I just need some people in the back to hit.
Gladly.
Yes.
There is no competition.
None.
Ever. No matter what anyone tells you, no matter what anyone tries to make you believe, there is no competition. And competition is created in order for us to forget who we are. It takes you out of alignment.
Yes.
When you are truly in alignment, it is. You are. That's it.
Yeah.
There's nothing to prove.
Right.
Nothing to prove.
Nothing.
And from that space, you can collaborate with others in a way that truly allows all of you to shine.
Yes. Everyone can shine.
Absolutely.
Yes.
There is space. There's space for everyone. There's room for everyone.
Just like there's enough abundance for everyone.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Like we as humans create the limitations.
100%.
You know?
100%.
In our lives. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And whether we're doing that because, I don't know, maybe we're in a space where we want to create contrast and we want to see, you know, the darker side or the negative side of something so that we could appreciate the lighter side.
Yeah.
So whatever the reason is, we are the ones creating that. It does not exist naturally.
Right. Right. Because we can flip it at any time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think the way our society is, I've said this in different ways on different platforms. We are socialized to compete.
Absolutely.
Competing for our parents' attention when we get to grade school, for the teacher's attention, to be the best person in the classroom, perfect attendance, good grades. Then you get into sports, or even when you said you did the singing competitions, everything, we're socialized to compete.
Yes.
And it takes us some years to then grow up and mature and realize, but wait, because I used to say, once I realized, I don't want to compete with anyone. I just want to compete with my former self. But then I don't even want to compete with my former self. I just want to grow, develop, and evolve.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. You're constantly just becoming a different version of you, an evolved version of you.
Yeah.
And every version of you is important, necessary. Like it like each version has its place.
Sure.
So it's all good. It's like it's kind of like every time we do something, by the time we're done with that project, we see all the things we could have done differently, right?
Right.
But it doesn't mean that anything's wrong with that project. It's just you've already started evolving. Like you're already evolving. You've moved on to the next thing.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Okay, so whether you're a freelance artist or you have representation, at some point you have to communicate your strengths, i.e., sell yourself, right? To attain sought after opportunities. In addition to that, once you land said opportunities, you have to communicate with others to create a captivating, entertaining experience for the audience.
Yes.
What would you say are your strengths in terms of your communication style today? Like, I know you said you come from having a strong sense of self, but in terms of your communication style, what do you think are your strengths?
Oh, well, my communication style, strengths, I would say, and now we're speaking in general as well as music, or are we?
I'm posing it in terms of music,
Okay.
and interacting with, band members, but it
Yeah.
can also be in general as well.
Okay. Okay. So I would say how I communicate in general also affects how I communicate through music. Because for me, from the beginning, from the first second, my intention is for whoever I'm interacting with to feel seen and heard, and to be as clear as possible in what my intent, what I want the experience to be as we collaborate, right?
Okay.
So that goes for anything in general in life, but also in music, in life, connecting with people. So any interaction I walk into, connecting with people, and that could be as simple as the eye contact, smile with the eye contact, taking a deep breath as you do that. Something as quick as that can shift an experience with somebody.
Sure.
So in music, I feel like similar to what I said earlier, in that because I feel confident in who I am, I don't need to force anything. I also don't need to force an agenda for a project. Yes, I have an intention, and I know that along the way, things are going to show up that I had no idea would show up. And they could be even better than what I was anticipating. So I have the structure of what I'm going after, but I also am open to all of these wonderful surprises happening that are going to make it even better. Because I go in with that intention and with that way of being, it allows other people to now freely bring what they have to the table, and we can have fun with it. So everyone I work with, whether it's musicians, on stage, or it's in the studio working with producers and musicians, I leave room for people to come with their genius as well.
Okay.
And then we can create that tapestry I was talking about, right? Bringing some stuff, I'm bringing some stuff, and we're weaving in between, each other. And it's true collaboration and harmonizing, right? So, yeah.
I love that. And harmonizing, not singing harmonizing.
Exactly.
Harmonizing in the communication style.
Yes. Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, pardon me, audience, if you saw me look strange. There was just some outside noise that was foreign to me, but we're back. Okay, so we being humans, are ever evolving beings, constantly learning and growing, right? What was something you had to learn practice or adapt to within the music industry that may have been challenging to digest early on?
Yeah. I would say I'll bring it back to realizing that every no does not necessarily mean no has nothing to do with your talent and how talented you are, and that every no is actually protection. That's really how I see it now. Every no is
Yes.
protection. You know, when I was younger, I would, people would say, "Oh, I wish, I had come across her stuff before I started working with this person." And I realized what happens in the music industry is like A&R people are not allowed to bring in, like, you can bring in artists, but how many of them are actually going to get signed? How many of them are actually going to get any kind of real budget? And how
Right.
many of them their music is actually going to get released? And if your
Right.
style is similar to someone else, then it's like, oh, I already got this person. I wish I had gotten this person before because,
Yeah.
they're bringing this. I really see all of that as protection. It
Yes.
was protection. It really was.
I love that.
Yeah. And so I would say, yeah, definitely. No or a closed door is protection.
It's protection.
Yeah.
Yes. I love that. And that's how I look at life like now. Even if I'm stuck in traffic
Yeah.
and I need to be somewhere at a certain time, but I can't get there, and I'll be like, okay, thank you for protecting me from something up ahead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or if I can't get out the house in enough time, yeah, you're holding me here for a reason.
For a reason.
Yes.
God alone knows what you're being stopped from colliding with. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's fine. We right on time. We right on
Yes.
time.
Yes. I know for me and audience, of course, I'm not a singer, but I know back in the day when I first started out with my mobile spa, Infinite Healing, and even before that, just as a massage therapist, one of the things that I had to learn and practice and adapt to was knowing and acknowledging my value. Especially in the beginning, because people would think, oh, you can get some practice in and you can, they would want to not pay me my value.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I would be like, oh, okay, don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
I learned my value, and when a person couldn't pay it, okay, I understand. Maybe next time it'll work out for you. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even to the point where, and I think it ties into what you were saying as far as having a good sense of self.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, like, so I've worked on celebrities in New York and in Atlanta, but more so in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And I remember, and of course, we don't say names.
Right.
I remember the people of a certain celebrity contacted my mobile spa to do a spa party for 100 people
Wow.
that they weren't going to pay us for,
Wow.
just so that I could say that I worked with this celebrity. No, sir, no, ma'am, no, thank you, no, thank you. Yeah, no. And I was so happy for myself because I've never been starstruck like that.
Yeah.
You know? And so they came back to me because apparently they had called all around and they then came up with the idea of getting multiple companies like mine to provide the services. I still said no. It wasn't worth the time and the effort. And let me say this, all celebrities are not like that.
The industry is set up in a way to take advantage of those who don't have self-worth.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
So, there's nothing wrong with at the beginning of, or if you, I think with anything you do, there must be some value that you see in it for yourself. And that value has to be so clear that
Yeah,
it energizes you in doing whatever you're going to do.
I
So that
got
when you
you.
walk away from it, you're not feeling depleted.
Yeah.
If that value's not there, then that's a no. Then we're not doing that, you know?
Yes. And I think what you're saying ties into the next topic.
Okay.
Like parts of the entertainment and music industry presents temptations, right?
Yeah.
Like shallow groupies,
Yeah.
drugs, alcohol, and encouraging people to dim their light, their
Right.
authenticity. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what's a unique characteristic that you feel you have within yourself, and I think I know, versus others that assisted you in maintaining self respect,
Yeah.
integrity, and health and wellness?
Yes. I would say, I think that at the foundation, I've always known that the drive for expressing myself through this medium
Sure.
was not about money or fame or attention.
Yes.
And so
Okay.
yeah, and so for me, I I think in knowing myself and knowing who I am and really seeing my craft, my talent as something that is contributing in a way that can be healing.
Yes.
Um, I've always paid very close attention to who I work with, what projects I put my name to. The question for me is this in alignment with what I believe my talent is for?
Okay.
And so if it feels like that's in alignment, then great, let's go. If it doesn't, then no, thank you. And
Yeah.
I've never felt the need to. I think also just because of our spiritual connections and like being really grounded, um,
Yes.
it helps you to not even be interested in so many of these distractions,
Yeah.
right? Because you're not looking for yourself someplace else,
Sure.
you know,
Sure. Sure.
right? You're not looking at this alcohol or this whatever the drug is.
Yeah.
You're not looking to that for an escape, and you're not looking to it to find yourself. You're already comfortable with looking within.
Within yourself. Yeah.
Once you have that, like, you have your compass, you have a compass. You can find your way.
Yeah.
And so I think that is what helps avoid those pitfalls, those distractions.
Yeah. And you sound like you are an innate leader.
Mm.
Like you're not a follower.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I've never felt the need to follow what anyone else was doing. I can appreciate what other people do.
Yeah.
And I also know, like, right, you're doing your thing and I can appreciate it. You inspire me. And I'm finding my own thing,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
So, and I've never looked to anyone to give me the answer to
Mm-hmm.
myself. And so, or what's best for me.
Mm-hmm.
I can take advice. I can, you know, take in any advice or suggestions people make, but I know
Mm-hmm.
ultimately if it does not feel right in my gut, if it doesn't feel
Yes.
right within me, then
Yes.
that's not what's right for me,
Yes.
you
And
know?
did you see um people kind of pushing different substances or yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. I know so many beautiful artists who, I mean, it's amazing. Like when they play, it's like, how do you do it? It's like, it really is like a channeling, you know, like watching them perform. It's like they are channeling. They who, the personality is of who they are day to day is gone, and it's really just them allowing this beautiful music to come through them. But then it's like once they're off the stage, they're lost.
Oh wow.
You know, and so they're looking they're looking toward alcohol or pills or whatever the drug is. They're looking to something else in order to find happiness, to find peace.
Yeah.
And it's sad because it's like if they could just allow whatever comes through when they're doing their craft to carry over, right? Is that how do you do that, right? If they could find that way to do that, just to me, it would seem like life could be so much more pleasurable for them.
Yeah.
You know,
Sure.
rather than the swing back and forth, like with your craft, like it's amazing, and then and then in life in general, it's the opposite.
Right,
You know?
right. Yeah. I'm glad that the path of your life has helped you to remain grounded as much as possible, you
Yes,
know?
yes,
Yeah.
I am grateful.
So, say it again.
So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, as a singer, I know it's good to possess an important quality that's related to the throat chakra, which is good listening skills. Yeah.
Hmm.
Would you say that your ear, what you hear, and how you respond as a singer is similar to your ear in conversations and in social settings? Like, is it as sharp or not so much?
No, absolutely. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I believe my ear for music has helped me with my ear and listening in life. And I would say the fact that I allow myself to have different outlets to become more aware,
Yeah.
just uh, aware in my interaction with other people, aware of sensations moving through me, within me. Um, that has also helped me fine tune my listening.
Okay.
And
Yes.
so in life, listening to what is said and also what is not said, sometimes what
Yes.
is not said is a lot louder than what is said,
So much louder.
right?
Yes. Yes.
So I'm like, that's even more important sometimes,
Yes.
you know, and having that practice of constantly getting sharper with what I hear and then what I communicate in response.
Yes.
Knowing that sometimes saying less is more. Similarly with music, doing less is more. So
Sure.
much more powerful. All
Yes.
of that, yeah, all of that has been very helpful. Yeah.
You know, when you said that, it reminds me of how some singers, they go, and, you know, they go, and, you know, all of that.
The vocal gymnastics. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And sometimes it could just be too much. Like you could have stopped, but now it
Yeah.
just kind of took the moment down.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because, and see, to me, when that happens, it's possibly that person did not connect with all, and you were saying before, like, we could talk about all the chakras, right?
Yeah.
Like, to a certain extent, like, even when you want to strengthen a certain chakra, the importance of every chakra, every center
Yeah.
being coherent, having a coherent message.
Yes.
When all of your centers have a coherent message, then any message can come through with ease, and then you don't need to force, because sometimes with the vocal gymnastics, there's, you're forcing, right? It's like,
yeah,
you're doing like a triple flip and
right.
like, okay, how many of those are you gonna do? And how does this help
right
your delivery right now? Like,
right,
okay, it's great. Like, we all see you can do that. That's wonderful.
Exactly.
How is that helping you connect with the audience, though? How is that helping you connect with the listener?
Yeah.
If it is actually adding to your experience with the listener, then great. But if it's something that is now going to start to have people kind of, it kind of breaks you out of the experience, the trance of it, right?
Yeah.
Because when you're performing, it's like, again, you're performing with other people, and it's this tapestry being woven, right?
Yeah.
If you start doing something that is all about you and not about the collective, you break everybody out of that collective experience.
Yeah.
Now it's more like, now people are not connected with you, and it's more about, okay, they'll just wait for you to finish.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? So as wonderful as that is, it's like, wow, that's great that you can do that. But is it adding to what we're doing right now?
Sure.
And to the experience that you want people to have? Is it adding to it?
Right.
If it's not,
right,
pull it back a little bit. Less is more. Less is more.
Right. Less is definitely more. Definitely. Okay, so during live shows,
Yeah,
I imagine there are times when you, the singer, and individual band members or the band as a whole freestyle a bit.
yeah.
When that happens, would you say that sometimes you hear with your spiritual ears intuitively, where you feel like you know where the notes are going, if I'm saying that right?
Yes. Yes. You are. So you at in that piece that you're creating, you are spiritually connected.
Okay.
And so similar to, like, say for example, if I were, sometimes when I'm writing and I go to the keyboard or the piano, I don't know what I'm going to play necessarily. But once I put my hands on the keys, it's like my hands just start doing something.
Sure.
I hear, oh, that's what we're expressing right now. So
yeah.
Similar to that, when you're performing live, yes, you have the structure of whatever the song, the general structure of the song. You know where you start and you know where you need to end up.
Yeah.
But between those 2 points, a lot of things can happen. And there's a trust that has to be there. One, within yourself, if you know yourself, right? And then 2, trust with each other.
Yes.
Because at different points, someone may have an idea based off of something the other one did that we can go with, and you have to have the ability to trust that it's going to take you ultimately to where you are going anyway.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it even more fun, right? Is that trust of each other. Like, okay, you're taking lead right now, okay, and we're flowing with you. We're weaving in and out of what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
Without that, it's no fun. But there must be that trust there where ultimately we're going to end up in the same place.
Yes.
That place that we know where we need to get to. But along the way, we allow each other to kind of bring in ideas.
Sure. Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I was thinking about how you said we know where we're going. We know where we're going to end up. Yeah. And I kind of feel like that as I do body work and massage. Mm-hmm. Like I know where I'm going to end up. And even if I'm working with a client, like the same client, a repeat client, I I know my routine, they know my routine, but there's always going to be different nuances to get us to that end result. And it's just really paying attention. Like for you, I said that intuitive ear, that inner ear, but for me, it's like that inner touch, that spiritual touch. So yeah, I definitely
And
resonate.
you're hearing through your hands, right? Like you're
Exactly.
listening through your hands.
I literally am.
Yes.
And sometimes I even cry because I feel the emotions that are held in muscles,
Wow.
especially between the shoulder blades. That's
Wow.
that heart center. People hold
Yes.
on to a lot of stuff. So
Yes.
yeah. And what's on top of the shoulders and neck, I can get that sensation of where I want to cry sometimes
Mm.
because people are not always speaking their truth. Yeah, it's really interesting. So
Yeah.
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 Wow.
Yes.
Thank you so much. We so next time we'll come back and talk about the health of ear, nose, and throat. This has been such an awesome interview. Thank you for taking out the time, Rhian, for As the Chakras Spin. Please share with everyone social media platforms, website, and where people can experience your music.
Sure. So I'm on all the streaming platforms. My stage name is Rhian Ayanna, and that's Rhian, and second name Ayanna. So on all the streaming platforms, my handle for Instagram is at Rhian Ayanna. My website is rhianayanna.com, and you can email me at rhianayanna.com.
Nice. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Tashi.
It has
Um,
been a pleasure.
it has, it truly has. Thank you so
Yes.
much. Thank you.
Yes. And thank you, audience, for tuning in to another episode of As the Chakras Spin. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We are on YouTube and Spotify. Until next time, peace and light.
Peace and light.
Thank you for listening to As the Chakras Spin. You can find all episodes at tashikdcooper.com. To learn the health of your chakras, you can schedule a chakra reading directly on my website. Until next time, peace.